What's up, everyone? This is Destroyer229, and welcome back to Let's Play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE. Last time, we made it to the illusionary TV station. Mamori was unharmed, but unfortunately, the Mirage that's controlling Barry is still here. Obviously. In this episode, we progress ever onward through the dungeon. Though, before we go any further, let's take a look at what Kiria has to say. Oh, I was gonna say, like, apparently she has more to say, and it's like, no, that's Maiko. Okay, so first Kiria, then Maiko, and then onwards to the dungeon. So, Kiria. This might seem kind of random, but beautiful accessories can help raise a Mirage Master's abilities. It's important to train so you can get stronger, but that doesn't mean you can neglect your appearance after all. Sounds like Kiribia has some new items. You should check it out. First class artist has to have a first class image, right? It's kind of weird when you put it that way, but I just consider it just, hey, armor and things like that. So I guess if we are going with entertainment and showbiz terms, yeah, image would be the thing that would give us power. Go figure. So, what does Maiko have to say? First Nobu and now Barry. Am I being stalked by mirages or something? And it's the pink bunny with like a scribble next to it. It's like, aww. Okay, there's a mirage over there. Okay, but there's something over here. What's this? Nope! Okay, let's try that again. Hopefully this time a savage enemy doesn't show up. I'm fine with regular enemies because I could kind of use the experience. There we go. But not savage enemies. Not yet, anyway. Oh, hello! Inferno! Okay, they look like the ogres, but on fire. Well, let's try sword, and if this doesn't work, I'm switching to Kiria. It didn't work. Well, I was probably gonna switch to Kiria anyway. Alright, let's get her in here. Okay, and then we can go and use Bufula on you. Oh! I completely forgot about her ad-lib performance. That worked out beautifully. Thank you, Kiria. Okay, well that worked out amazingly well. And we've got a lot of things, actually. Alright, so what have we got? They all stem from Unity. Itsuki has a new weapon called Matador. Toma has a new weapon called Ningen Mukotsu. And Kiria has a new weapon called Lilith Rod. Okay, I definitely want to get that Lilith Rod because Kiria could kind of use it. What is this? Something that I'll probably unlock later. There's a Mirage over here, though. Yeah. Okay, this seems like what we need to do. I understand. And chances are this is what we're going to need to do. Okay, so we came from the west area. So let's go ahead and backtrack a bit, because there was that one lantern we saw earlier. So if we light that up, hopefully that's not on any sort of time limit, because if it is, I'm going to be very upset. And then there was also just this area out here. Oh, there's a lantern right here too. And a chest! Okay, treasure first, lantern later. Fight never, unless I see another one. Or a rare enemy. I'd love to encounter one of those again. What do we get? Just as garden artistry. Okay. No! 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 Na 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 na, fighting you. Okay, I got a weird item. Which reminds me, I never did check that tissue thing that we got from Anzu. But Ellie leveled up. Pretty decent. Yeah, not gonna deal with savage enemies. I know I have items and stuff that can slow down Mirages. But I just straight up, I don't know. I find them situational. And then I panic. It's like, I can get away from them. Alright, so let's see. There were a few things here that I wanted to check. Wagtang Plume causes charm. So that's what we got in our recent battle. The one that we just had. Interesting. I might have Tsubasa try that, because she has a better chance of success. And Pocket Tissue. Very slightly recovers HP, so it's exactly like the kitty candy in that it does pretty much nothing. Good to know. Alright, well, let's light the fire. We didn't start it. It was always burning, since the world's been turning. No, come on! What's with all these savage enemies? Is that what I get for quoting song lyrics? Stupid Mirages. Ooh, combat specialist. Oh, we got a new play record. Ooh, and Ellie got a stage rank. Awesome. She's got a new performer, Markswoman. And Tsubasa got a stage rank. It's a good thing I switched her in. And she has a new performer, Dancer's Gift. Okay. I do have Radiant skills. Awesome. Tsubasa has Endless Song. And Ellie has something that looks like it's in German, I think? Der Freschutz? I cannot pronounce German to save my life. So, pardon me, but we'll see exactly what it says the next time that we are in the Bloom Palace. Meanwhile, let's go back and light the lantern that's over here in the southern portion. And then we can head on over to these other sections. Because chances are we're going to need to head on over to each of these sets. And then that Mirage will open the way probably to the second floor. Apologize for just getting into a random battle right there. Something had my attention and I needed to pause very briefly, and I didn't want to be attacked. So I got into a battle! Makes perfect sense. Anyway, Itsuki leveled up. Above average, I guess. Okay, so, like I was saying... Wait, where? Oh, behind us. So we're going to need to light up all of these different places in order to progress further. There are different floors and even different sets. So it'll be interesting just where exactly this leads us. Because I'm willing to bet that it will just lead us over to a higher floor, as opposed to just putting us into a brand new area. Alright, so let's head north. And hello. What are these? I mean, they're signs, but what do they say? To all staff working on the Solus Centerade Special. Okay, let's read it. We'll turn the lanterns on just before the actual show begins. Please follow the director's instructions. Okay. What about this one? Is it just the same thing? No, it's different. We've had a lot of people forgetting to light the lanterns. They're located in 4 places, 1 on each cardinal direction. Okay, so it's exactly like I figured it would be. Okay, and what does this one say? There are 3 tasks for the day. Getting the set ready, getting the waiting rooms ready, and the rehearsal. So it seems like this is only part 1 of what it is that we need to do. Interesting, and there's the lantern. There is something that I want to go over, and that, whenever I say that, you all know what that means. I want to go over a history lesson. Yatta! Oh, hello. And yet the game says, no, we're gonna delay that just a bit. A Leviathan. Interesting. Looks aquatic, so I'm willing to bet electricity does wonders. Or there's the Red Mage. Well, let's start with Mazio. See if electricity works well on this Leviathan. Did it reflect? Holy crap, it repels electricity! Okay, I called that one completely wrong. Alright, in which case, let's get rid of the Red Mage as fast as possible. There we go. Okay, so electricity doesn't work. Let's try fire. How well does fire work? Fire works pretty well, as do swords. Wind is okay, though. Okay. Let's try lances? Dang, resistant. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure Ellie's fine. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. And what about bows? Let's weak the bows. Okay, wow, lots of new things. The game really doesn't want me to go into history lessons. Okay, but we learn Zionga. So that will be very nice. Also, we've maxed out the Noble Rapier. Next from Virion, Skill Boost. Something that's very good for Ellie. And finally, a new skill from Kada. Healing Expertise, which increases the potency of healing things. I like all these boosts. Let's get rid of Null Poison. Sleep, I can see having an advantage. Poison, a little less so. So we'll get rid of that, and now we've maxed out the Blood Lance. I am going to need to head over to the Bloom Palace very soon. Okay, do we have anything that I can substitute in? I do have the Answerer, which does have Bow Thunder. Okay, which means I can actually start to use Ellie a lot more for sessions. Unfortunately, that's the last thing for Tsubasa. Okay, I'm going to need to head back to the Bloom Palace after this episode, so we can actually make a few things. But I do want to go over a history lesson very briefly. Or at least as briefly as I can. Ooh, Mazan stones. So, as we're going through this, we have met a bunch of different Mirages throughout our adventure, specifically the bosses of each of the chapters. I mentioned in the description the stuff from the prologue boss, since he wasn't really too much of worth. But each of the bosses that we have faced up to this point are also related to Fire Emblem. We are going to be going over one of these today. Assuming I don't get constantly interrupted like I usually do. Now, I would go over the first boss that we fought, but I think it would make more sense if we started with our second boss first. And that would be going over Gangrel. The reason I would do it this way is because Aversa, well, is a lot more involved than Gangrel was in their respective games. And Gangrel and Aversa are a little bit connected. So I'm going to hold off talking about Aversa for another day. But we're going to go ahead and talk about Gangrel. Gangrel is one of the major antagonists in Fire Emblem Awakening. He is referred to as the Mad King of Plegia. Though what's interesting is that he wasn't actually born into royalty. He was actually raised in the slums and was a thief before he rose to power. So it's interesting that he usurped the throne. Now, while he grew up in the slums and had his own view of the world, which is grounds to say that he wasn't exactly the most stable person, he also had the unfortunate distinction of being ruler of Plegia when Chrom's father was king. Chrom's father was not a kind ruler, and spent a lot of resources in a war against Plegia. This war greatly drained the resources of both kingdoms, and nearly caused both of them to collapse. It wasn't until the death of Chrom's father, and when Emerin took the throne, that things started to look better. And Emerin had a lot harder time since she had both kingdoms breathing down her neck when she took the throne. But this isn't about Emerin, this is about Gangrel. And with Gangrel, well, he wasn't exactly the most stable person before the war. And after the war, that's when he got his title of the Mad King. He would do anything in his power to try to instigate war and completely destroy Elise. Or Ylise, whatever. So, needless to say, even though Emerin tried to patch things up between the two kingdoms, Gangrel had none of that. And instead wanted to just completely destroy everything that the neighboring kingdom of Ylise stood for. In Awakening, this meant quite a few things to try to instigate a full-blown war, including sending spies to trick the neighboring kingdom of Froxy into mostly having bad relations with Ylise and trying to prevent them from helping out Ylise, and specifically the shepherds. And when this didn't work, along with just having border skirmishes with different between Pelagian troops and Elysian innocents. Oh, I knew it! Well, I figured there was an enemy behind me, but at least we got some level ups. Ooh, a really good level up for Tsubasa. And a skill from Crom. Bow Thunder. So now we can really actively utilize Ellie's bow. Got a few more carnages, but let me try to get through Gangrel first. Now, when these border skirmishes didn't work, Gangrel resorted to some more drastic measures. Ooh, smoke machines. This included kidnapping a duke's daughter to try to instigate a full-blown war. Though it also didn't help that this daughter also happened to be one of the shepherds, Maribel. When this failed to work, he tried to, well, he went with more bigger targets. This meant capturing Emerin, the Exalt, and it worked. When he kidnapped Emerin, he challenged Crom to try to rescue her, ultimately trying to lead him into a trap. When he had Crom right where he wanted, Gangrel gave Crom an ultimatum. Should probably say these words right. This ultimatum was to either give Gangrel the Fire Emblem, or watch as Emerin died. Now, you as the player are given a choice to try to decide between the two. But ultimately, the choice is not yours to make, or Crom's to make. Instead, Emerin makes the choice. And rather than giving in to Gangrel's demand, rather than having to force her younger brother to make an impossible decision, she makes it for him. And she leaps from the execution stand, which is on top of the ruins of the Fell Dragon Grima, and she falls to her death after giving a passionate speech about forgiveness and about choosing her own fate. Lots of mirages here. Emerin sacrificed herself so that way... Damn it! Emerin sacrificed herself in order to save her kingdom. This self-sacrifice not only completely devastated Crom and Lissa, but it also struck a chord with many Pelagian units. It caused many people from Pelagia to question, was this really the right thing to do? Sure, Ylisse had caused such pain in the past, but was this really right? Were they the bad guys, basically? Emerin's sacrifice caused a mass desertion within Gangrel's army, and caused a mass desertion. Those that stayed were either under the direct control of Gangrel, or fought for other reasons, but they no longer fought for the Mad King. After this mass desertion, this mass havoc of the Pelagian army, Crom and Gangrel fight on the battlefield. Essentially, Gangrel wanted to finish off Crom. He had already killed Emerin, and if he could kill Crom, then there was virtually no one left that could really stand in his way. There could have been Lissa, but Lissa was not really suitable to rule. So, for all intents and purposes, it was only Chrom that was really between Gangrel and his revenge scheme. This is essentially the final battle of the first act of Awakening. And once you fight Gangrel, you defeat and kill him. Or so you'd think. The reason I mention this is that for all intents and purposes, Gangrel dies at the hands of Chrom that day. But Awakening does something interesting in terms of some of its characters. Once you unlock the final chapter in Awakening, you get access to a bunch of Xenologues, which are essentially just side missions. What makes these significant is that for doing these side missions, you meet characters that should not be alive. And it is essentially the game's way of giving you characters that you ordinarily would not have access to otherwise, Gangrel being one of them. Personally speaking, I consider these side missions to be non-canon to the story of Awakening. The simplest reason is that they make absolutely no sense within the context of the story. You see these characters in situations that you would not see them otherwise. And these are well-known characters that you would be seeing. There would be no way that the people surrounding these characters like Gangrel would know that they are not a big deal. Not only that, but these, I guess you could say, post-game side missions, these characters can only have support conversations with Robin. And Robin has support conversations with literally everyone. Because, well, Robin is the avatar, and it's essentially supposed to be like you, and you can befriend pretty much anyone. So, for that reason, for our sake, Gangrel dies on the battlefield at Chrom's hand, not long after Emerin sacrificed herself. That is where our story with Gangrel ends. And we have spent far longer than we probably should trying to explain that. Now, if you're wondering what exactly Aversa had to do with any of that, and why I didn't go over her story, Aversa was one of Gangrel's assistants. But she comes back far more often in the story of Awakening. So we will talk about Aversa at another time. For now, though, we've lit all the lanterns. We've got, well, really, that was the big thing that we needed to do. We're going to go ahead and call it a day here. So, next time on Let's Play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, we are going to head back to the Bloom Palace, heal up, and see what we can get with all the things that we've gotten this far. We have a few maxed weapons for both Tsubasa and Kiria, and Ellie only has the one weapon. So I'd like to try to get a few different weapons while I'm there. After that, we'll come back here and report and see where exactly that room takes us. So, well, let's actually take a look at the Unity notes to see what exactly we also have access to. We can get a new weapon for Kiria. It's the only thing that was there in terms of carnages. So we can get a new weapon for Kiria called Lorelei. So, plenty of stuff that we can get. Until next time, everyone, Take care.